In the shadows of Liverpool's multi-million pound Anfield Stadium is one of the UK's most deprived communities. Earlier this year, latest figures published by the Office for National Statistics revealed that the postcode with the lowest average household income was L5, where households had an estimated total annual income before tax of just £23,900. As well as income, the survey considered a range of factors, including housing, education, street littering, and crime, putting Breck Road in the top 10 of the most deprived streets of nearly 33,000 areas in the UK. Today, I want to find out how Breck Road ended up on this list, and even having people sleeping rough on the street, because it was this area where I was born. It was this area where I was educated and raised, and it's clear to see that every time I come back to this area, it's not getting any better. If anything, it's getting much, much worse. Growing up here in the 80s, you got a taste of real poverty under economic policies known as Thatcherism. Excuse my language. And if you believed what she said, you'd question poverty as a lack of character. But living in the L5 and L4 areas for most of my life, I'm certain that poverty isn't a lack of character, it's simply a lack of money. Something many people around here know far too well, being stuck in the government's economic poverty traps, facing challenges such as unemployment and low wages, causing a vicious poverty cycle. But the cruel irony of welfare traps in particular is that they stem from the very policies designed to battle poverty. This got me thinking. Surely it's no coincidence that children eligible for free school meals, which is roughly 15% of the poorest pupils shown here in the blue bars, in England do significantly worse at every stage of school. So I spoke to a local primary school teacher who didn't want to be on camera, but to ask him the question, to fix poverty, do we have to fix our education system?
This is a really interesting question because obviously there is a relationship between poverty and education. Obviously the sort of way that education set up is that it almost sees students, especially when they go to higher education, as consumers, and the narrative is the better that you do in education, the more qualifications that you gain, the more sort of successful and financially secure that you're going to be. So obviously that's one thing, but also there's other ways in which poverty impacts education. You know, if you've got a child who's living in poverty, who perhaps can't, whoever provides for them, their parents or whoever it may be, can't provide meals for them, or, you know, because of their circumstances of living in a troubled household that, you know, has issues that poverty brings, like substance abuse or sort of mental health issues or whatever it may be. It may be that student can't engage with their education to their fullest potential, and their behaviour might become disruptive or otherwise. So for example, you know, if a student who isn't eating breakfast every day is coming in hungry, they can't focus on their work, you know, they're being told that they're not performing or they're not engaging enough, then there becomes a thing of like self-fulfilling prophecy, really, where the student starts to maybe believe that, well, I'm being painted with this brush, you know, perhaps like that's what I am, maybe I am unintelligent, or, you know, school's not for me, and maybe they start to disengage, become disruptive, and it begins that vicious cycle and that that sort of bad relationship with education, and then from there bad relationship with teachers and authority as well.
There is no power for change greater than a community discovering what it cares about. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much.